How we doing? Figured we'd jump on a couple minutes early, because I know it seems to me that whenever we do that, people start or seem to not miss out on it as much. They see it starts. Um, yeah, we just chat a little bit. In the meantime, what's new with you?
We got lots of stuff that's new that we're going to talk about, but since it's kind of like pre-show here, this is like the dark show before the main show kind of thing. This is something I got in the mail earlier in the week, and I love this because it just makes me laugh every time I see it. So I thought I would show this for people.
Oh yes, good old Archie.
That silly Archie, he should know that Veronica would rather have jewelry than a frisbee. I don't know what he was thinking there. Look.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen Riverdale, I think they would rather go for the jewelry as well.
That's right. Well, on Riverdale, it could be a pearl necklace. You know, that show, they're always topless and sweaty, and they're always making out on that show.
Actually, the actresses for Betty and Veronica are both
Oh,
very attractive.
Betty is super hot on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know one thing I can show real fast. We're going to cover an Archie book later on, and we've already kind of mentioned that in a couple of weeks is the first transgender character being introduced in comics and by Archie. And I have a book that I picked up yesterday that has a bunch of new Archie characters, so I'll grab that real fast.
Oh. Can tell at least we're prepared for the show.
I am prepared for the show.
No, I know. I said at least we are prepared for the show.
So the one that we were talking about, and we always had the regular comic size, but in digest size this week was just an Archie showcase digest, they call it, and it has a bunch of new kids that are introduced. It's like another school has to merge with Riverdale or something like that. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of new characters, all new like write-ups and biographies on them.
But even for digest, that's a thick book.
Yeah, it is a thick book, but it's like $10 or $9.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I don't know if it's like this always for Archie books nowadays or what, or just because I saw these at Walmart and I saw them put them on the shelf, but everyone is banged up pretty bad, ticks and stuff. So I tried to look.
I think it goes with the Archie pocketbook theme. You never see a good one, I think they just come that way.
In the old days, they did. But I mean, I don't know. Like they're now, it's pretty paper thin and that. But I'm gonna try and find one that's not dinged up. Maybe keep looking at other WalMarts because I think that's pretty cool. Because there's got to be like at least I think it's 8 or 9 new characters there. So
yeah. Well, it is 8:01. Why don't we
let's start the show?
Get on with the show. Cue our intro music.
Real fast. I was kind of thinking about an idea this afternoon, and Tyler can put a poll up, for the end of the show even. Would you guys like there to be a Nat Daddy like theme song in the beginning? So, yes or no? You can let me know.
We'll see. That can be a new poll, I'm sure.
Sure.
Because we have another poll to talk about later on in the show. But let's jump straight into the delivery today, I guess.
Well, let's introduce ourselves and start off the show.
Well, everyone knows me. I'm the handsome one. And you're the old man that can't speak most of the time.
That's right. I'm Nat Daddy from Nat Daddy Collectibles.
I don't have a name. I'm one of the collectibles. One of a kind, one of one.
Yeah, that's right. Not going up in value, though.
No, I have terrible school debt.
Let's thank our community members. Let's thank 204 Comics.
Mm-hmm.
They our local LCS, or our LCS, not our local LCS. That's a little redundant. But we were in there today and yesterday. They're doing good. They're doing well. They got some awesome stuff of their own going on. They've started a YouTube show, so check them out.
It's a great show. Panel surfing. That's what it's called. Panel surfing.
Yeah, it's funny. And then we have our own stuff to announce as well. We'll announce that later on. And we'd like to thank the tags group. Little sad news earlier in this week. The tags shows are not going to be continuing on after this weekend.
Yeah.
They're still going to have a few specials here and there.
They have their final episode coming in 2 weeks, I believe.
I think it's the 22nd.
I think, but I thought you said 2 weeks. In 2 weeks was gonna be their final one. I may have misread it.
It's Memorial Day weekend for them. I know that. Yeah. I saw that. So.
And then they're gonna have specials once the tags books come out, the Kickstarter books.
Yeah, because there's live sketches to be done, which we have one of those. We were able to get Hugh to do we were able to get that in our Kickstarter there.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then also spinning out of that, Nat Daddy with collaboration with the guy, the Stefan from Things Are Getting Sketchy, have created Things Are Getting Dicey. I've mentioned a little bit on the show already here. It's a D&D group where I will be the fun yet evil host of the show. I'll be the DM, and we got 4 or 5 people joining in there. Should be pretty fun. I believe it's going to get streamed, or else why not? Why are we going to do it? But I'm not too sure on that. I would assume it would be if it's going to be. They created a page for it. Like I know
you should be able to stream it.
Yeah, so that'd be kind of cool. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of role playing and acting and costumes and stuff. Hopefully, I told people that be more creative, the better it is. Tyler knows from when I.
Okay, you're talking too much. Let's go.
We got lots of shows to do.
No, we're almost 10 minutes in.
No, we're not. It's 8:05. So yeah, that'll start on June 4th. So check that out as well. And now you can start.
Okay, well, I don't have it next to me. You've got them up there. But we showed off that we got a mail call today.
Are we doing that right away?
We'll do that right away.
All right. Okay.
And it's a pretty big one.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you got for us over there?
I got our Spectro books came in today. Here's the regular cover. Notice this. Oh, my light just died. Weird. That's that Spectro influence there.
Mm-hmm.
That is as soon as I said Spectro. Yeah, that's it. So again, notice the size on this. This is the Prestige large format from Aftershock. Mm-hmm. This book is amazing. I've had 2 people tell me already that have seen this, that this looks like album art covers. Especially the Virgin one here. Yeah. It is just amazing. Michael Berglund did such an amazing job on this. So we will be sending out some copies to him to be signed.
You're talking so slow today, jeez.
Well, you just told me I talk too much. I just want to quit criticizing me. So I want everybody to see this. It is great. From Wando. Oh, yeah, the light went out. Got the Nat Daddy symbol there. That's pretty cool.
Right. So those, like we said, they don't come out till next week. Wednesday of next week. So if you don't have any yet, they're on our website. Prices are on there. And you can also message us on our Facebook page. We're always open to whichever. For the local people here in Winnipeg, the guys at 204 have nicely... they've taken some copies of our book here, and they'll have some available. And because it's sort of a thank you to the local people here, you can actually, instead of paying, I believe it's 26 or 28 for the trade copy, if you're in at 204 next week and you pick it up, you can actually get it for $20 for the local people. So that's something there. Actually, they'll be technically the only store in the world carrying it, actual mortar and brick store.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's that. So thank you to them. We really appreciate them doing that for us.
Hopefully now my light won't go out every time we say the word Spectro. I went and changed the battery or the cable cord. Yeah. So like I said, like what Tyler said, but on our site as well too, we do have for
Mhm.
sale $26 for the trade, and then for you can only get the Virgin is if you buy the set of the Virgin and the trade, and that I believe is 65. It is
I don't
amazing.
remember. I set it up forever ago.
Yeah, I believe it's 65. Yeah, like I said, a little bit more pricier than the regular stuff, but that is because it is the prestige size. So again, you get the larger format. And oh, what I meant to do here, I have an open copy. I wanted you guys to see some of the artwork in here because Wando is an amazing,
Save it.
amazing.
I'm not supposed to be showing the inside stuff. Get out of there. I have to delete that if you put it online. We can't show it. I told you already.
Okay, and then what do I can show this though because they've already shown this.
You can
They've
show,
shown it.
yes. You can't show the interiors. You're terrible for spoilers. You're like Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland.
I showed the pages that they've already showed online.
You can't show any of it.
I showed the page. Let's go on.
Can't show any of it. All right, let's get into some books.
Yes.
Let's start off, as always, we start off with the big two, and we'll start with Marvel today. Not that that's a huge change from what we normally do. Let's see. I've got the Marvel tag up. I don't have the book. There we are. Okay, let's start off with All New, All Different, Savage Avengers 1. Jeez, I pulled a Nathan there. Savage Avengers.
Savage Avengers 1 was actually a really awesome book. I quite enjoyed it. You got David Papose doing the writing, and then you got Carlos Magno doing the art. I really like the art in here. But I don't know if these guys did the original run or not. I don't think so. But again, this is volume 2. Again, you have Conan kind of leading or spearheading a bunch of like random Marvel heroes.
A really weird team, but I like it.
Yeah, I do too. You have Conan, and then you have Cloak and Dagger. You have the Black Knight. You have Weapon H. You have the Daredevil, the Electro Daredevil that's going on.
Deathlock, Cloak and Dagger, Anti-Venom.
I said Cloak and Dagger, and you got Anti-Venom, and they're all in a situation where they're going up against a Deathlock. And the Deathlock it's almost like a Terminator versus Conan type of thing, where this Deathlock has been sent from the future to eradicate Conan because he's in the wrong time stream in the Marvel universe right now. So lots of just kind of silly fun like that. And we'll see where it goes from there. So yeah,
Conan, come with me if you want to live.
Yeah, it's the same character.
It is too, isn't it? Yeah.
It's Arnold, yeah.
So that's the vast multiverse right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really liking the team for this.
I liked it. It was really good.
And next up, we covered the first part, I think last week. The first part of the Banner of War. This one's part 2 with Thor 25. Great cover. You've got like a crazed Odin on the front. Amazing cover.
Yeah, this is an oversized issue because it's issue 25 of the Donny Cates run. And it is, I liked it. Again, like Tyler said, there's 2 stories in here. There's the main story where it follows the Banner crossover, where Odin is now a ghost, and he kind of inhabits the hammer Mjolnir, but his spirit is inside the Hulk's mind, battling Banner itself for trying to shut down the Hulk who's fighting Thor. So this back and forth action there. I liked it. It's fun. It's just plain old silly 60th anniversary of Hulk versus Thor fun. But besides the whole, Donny Cates turning the Hulk into a starship type of thing.
Yeah, it's a weird. I don't know. I'll never get it. I won't understand it.
And how can he be a starship?
The Hulk engine. I think that's what they call it.
No, but he is still the starship. He calls himself a starship.
I know.
But I mean, he's the same regular size. It's not like he's giant sized or anything. So it's just dumb. I don't like that part. But yeah, all the other stuff's pretty cool. Especially the part with like how Banner's interacting with Odin and all that stuff. So cool.
Yeah, weird. You get some good covers out of it though.
Yeah,
there are some really nice Thor covers. And
Yeah,
I feel like Thor's a character that gets neglected quite a bit when it comes to the nicer variants, and I'm not entirely sure why. I feel like he's a pretty popular character,
yeah.
and they've got a pretty huge team on it. Like you said, they've got Donny Cates there, so it's strange that they don't get more. Like compared to X-Men gets tons or whatever X of this or whatever.
Well, just wait till the new movie comes out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Next we've got also from Marvel. Those the Marvel classic characters Han Solo and Chewbacca. Um, Continuing on from the first issue, it left off with apparently Han Solo's father, who he does further go on to sort of convince Han a bit that he is his father. He knows things that only his father would know. He has, I guess, injuries that only his father had, and they try to continue with this heist, and of course it gets all messed up again, in true Han Solo fashion, and it sort of ends where they're just cornered. You know, Greedo is as incompetent as ever. It's a surprise Jabba uses him. And that's pretty much this issue. Not a whole lot other than a little bit of Han Solo banter back and forth between his dad, which every time he says father or dad is in quotations. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I think it's weird. They do show that the
Maybe
Han Solo's little dice there came from his father. I don't know.
maybe that's how they say, like, refer to him saying father is like sarcastically.
It's possible.
Yeah.
In other Star Wars news, because I don't think I have anything else Star Wars to show up, we know that they've done like the Sprouse anniversary, 50th anniversary covers, and they do the action figure covers, and they have some new Sprouse covers coming out in a new series. I guess the anniversary ones must be done soon. And these ones are called the Choose Your Destiny, and they've shown two of them. The first one is Darth Vader, and the second one is General Grievous from Darth Vader from his own series, and General Grievous from Bounty Hunters. These are really cool covers. I prefer these to the what do you call them? The anniversary ones.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as cool as the action figure ones. Kind of reminds me of an action figure itself.
It looks like the what you would find like on the backs, like the cardboard backing of an action figure
Yeah,
box.
yeah, like the old
blister
GI
pack.
Joes, how they would have little cutouts and
Yeah, and a blister pack would go over top of it, type of thing.
totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought those were neat, and we know that I'm a Star Wars junkie, so I've gone ahead for the next 4 months and pre-ordered all of them, even though those are the only two that they've shown. Next, we've got from DC Comics, Shadow Warzone. So
Yeah.
this is the... Is it? I think this is a one-shot and it's spreading across. Is this a continuing series? I haven't actually figured that
It's a
out.
one shot. Yeah, it's a one shot. Yeah, like you said, it's a one shot that has a few stories that kind of involves some more of the characters of the Shadow War that's going on in the Batman world right now.
Yep.
We know that it looks like that Ra's al Ghul was killed by Deathstroke. He says he didn't. Someone else looks like he might impersonate him. So now Talia al Ghul has sent like pretty much every assassin in the world after Deathstroke and everyone who's associated with him to eliminate him for that. So yeah, this one kind of has a few stories more about it. It has that Angel Breaker, her more of her origin in that. She seems pretty cool. She seems to have a prior connection to Black Canary. I like that
At first,
too.
when they introduced the character, I thought it was going to be a bit of an Azrael clone, but it's actually a separate character completely, obviously. But they're not even making it remotely similar. That's quite nice.
Yeah, I like that character a little different. They've been in the last couple of years. They've introduced a lot of new Batman characters.
Oh yeah.
And
well, they've got one on there with was it Batwing there or whatever Lucius Fox's.
Yeah, well, and then they got the guy in the white there. That's that Ghost Killer, or sorry, Ghost Maker. Yeah. And apparently she has some ties to him as well too. And this new Angel Breaker character has a really neat weapon where it's like this big giant, like almost like anime type of sword, and it seems to whatever attack gets hurled at it, it can kind of absorb and repel back. So that's kind of cool as well. So
Wonder if
we'll
it's
see where
made
it
of
goes.
vibranium.
Yeah, kind of like vibranium type of thing. So I liked it. It's good. I've so far I've enjoyed this. I mean, it's only been the alpha and this so far, and I like the story so far because I like the whole kind of script of it.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of assassins going after everything Batman related and Deathstroke related. So I'm curious to see where it keeps going. Even this here too, like the main story there was the only really worth reading. Everything else is just kind of secondary. You got some more stories about Ghost Killer hunting or training Clown Hunter. So that's kind of cool too. Yeah, just more expansion. That's what it seems like a lot of stuff is now. It's just more expansion of new universes.
Yeah.
We have a few other books in here too. Again, it's just older properties that are kind of trying to expand. So.
Yeah. Next up, and actually this is one of the series that have become, no, I wouldn't say one of your favorites, but you look forward to reading it when it comes out. Catwoman. You got Catwoman number 43.
Yeah, the last 6 months or so, I don't usually have any intentions on reading Catwoman because a lot of times I find Catwoman, especially in the comics, kind of boring, very repetitive and just kind of like Superman stories. Like, what's going to happen no matter what, right? So, but the last few months I've liked them because they've had some wicked artwork, especially some super sexy covers and kind of a lot of sexy stories and innuendos inside. Like that one Tyler was talking about, we covered a few months ago, was her being undercover at a stripper place.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. This one here,
something that they mirrored in Matt Reeves' Batman movie.
That's true, very true. And in this one here, her and Harley decide to take a little road trip to get out of town, and they end up going to do some roller derby stuff. Sounds kind of silly, but it happens. And super hot artwork in there. Lots of just lots of like I wouldn't say innuendos, but a little bit innuendos and a lot of like just kind of comic book style kind of risqueness. So that's kind of nice too. Really nice kind of sexy, almost like old style cartoon artwork. I kind of like that too. And then at the end of this, we get they say it's just now today they're saying it's just the cameo, but it can't be. It's the full-on introduction, and I'll go into a little rant here in a second, on a character that was originally in the Batman the animated series many years ago. Her name was Red Claw. She was like an assassin. And they've introduced her now into the real comic books and this is her here. And she looks just like that. I remember her on the old animated series. Her voice was done by Kate Mulgrew, the woman who is Captain Janeway. So it says right here, "Hi Catwoman. I'm Red Claw. I'm gonna be a big enemy type of thing." So a full page name and everything.
End quote.
and then on this app we refer to sometimes. Now today they're saying that's just a cameo. Well, what's going to be a full appearance if that's just a cameo?
It's the same thing as Hulk 180 and Hulk 181. Not saying that she's going to be as big as Wolverine, but Wolverine's on the whole page at the end of Hulk 180 saying, I'm the Wolverine.
I know. And even too, it had like her name done like in a logo style on that. So I mean, that's a full appearance to me, a first appearance. I don't care how you want to put it. So. That's my rant on that. But it's a great book, and that character looked really good, too.
She did. They did a good job. We've got one more DC book. Kind of. It's DC, but it's Earth M. And that's with Duo.
Universe. Yeah. And this is another one that I never read originally when Milestone was coming out. This originally was called Zombie. With an X, but now they call it Duo. I don't know why they changed the name, actually.
It's
maybe
too confusing. People can't figure out X's are pronounced like Z's.
Or maybe they just didn't want to be too much related to people thinking it would be zombies. So, because it's not really zombie-like now, it's nanotech, right? So,
yeah, that's true.
So what it is the expansion of the Milestone universe. So far in that, all those ones that we reviewed, like Static and Hero and Icon.
I think we've reviewed all of them, to be honest. Or at least all the first couple issues.
Yeah, they've all been in that Minneapolis area because that's where the main event happened. But now this is the first story outside of that. It's just in part of the what they're calling the Earth M, which is just like another multiverse in DC. That's how they're tying this Milestone universe into it. So what it is, it's again, it's update zombie that's updated as Duo, and it's actually for all these reboots they've done in the Milestone line, this one's been the most solid to start off with. I thought you got some nice art in here. And what it is you got a couple who are scientists, and they have created this nanobot technology that goes. They've been working on with this like pharmaceutical company or chemical company type of thing to save people. With this nanotechnology and that. So they get to a point where they're almost ready to start testing on humans type of thing, and the company, the evil corporate company, decides to shut them down and take them out and because they won't sell them their work and eliminate them that way. And a la Swamp Thing type of thing, as some assassins type of thing come and try to take them out. Their work kind of gets destroyed and gets they get exposed to their work and now there's only the one of them. They both died, and the one girl came back, and now the nanobots are inside her, and her husband's consciousness is inside her as well too, because the nanobots, kind of like in the Fly movie when he got transported, have kind of merged everything together. They didn't know what to do, and now she's kind of like immortal type of thing, or like Wolverine. She can regenerate from almost anything. So she's just waking up in the hospital from that. And of course this evil corporation's after her now as well too. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out because like I said, I didn't know anything about this line at all before, and it like I said, compared to the other Milestone reboots, this one seems to be the most exciting, the most solid, and has the most kind of like relatable story, I guess. Because like that nanobot stuff and AI technology nowadays a lot of people are getting pretty scared of that stuff. It's a big thing in news and that nowadays. When people talk about that, AIs and algorithms and am I wrong? It kind of is like a hot button issue.
Every time I go to talk about this book or I look at it, I just have a bit of a laugh to myself because I think this dude just looks so much like he's trying to do a Jared Leto.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like someone that's trying to go around and be like a sun god or something like that. But yeah, besides the cover in that, the cover B was a little bit better than that. But I enjoyed this one. Like I said, of all the 3 or 4, I think this is the 4th one now, reboots from that line. So I hope it gets a little bit more attention.
And that's it for DC books, but we do have an honorable mention because we've sort of been doing a cover of the week that we've been enjoying. And this one, now, I'm not a fan of the Batman Who Laughs, not in the slightest. But this is from Batman Superman World's Finest, number 3. And I love this cover. It's by Perillo.
Yep.
And this is probably one of the best covers this week, if not the best cover this week.
Well, I agree. It's a great cover. But I can't say it's any better than any other Perillo cover that's out this week because all the Dynamite books that I like and you don't, they all have Perillo covers most of the time. So even the Hell Sonya one I have this week, which isn't I don't have on the reading list for us this week.
Nope.
It's a Perillo one as well too. Yeah, Perillo is amazing. Him and his fiance or girlfriend, Carla Cohen, are both amazing. 2 of my favorite artists. So yes, that is good. My cover of the week, besides that Archie one I showed beforehand with the pearl necklace, is that Catwoman one. The Catwoman with her rollerblading.
The roller derby, yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, her and Harley just look amazing in that.
So. That's it for Marvel. That's it for DC. Let's move on to indies, and our first one will be from Boom. And we covered issue 1. We loved it. And now we're doing issue number 2. That's Alice Ever After. A really dark twist on a sequel to Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, and speaking of nice covers, this one has nice covers too.
Same with the first issue. Great covers.
The one per store is nice as well too. Lots of nice green on there. But the cover that's getting a lot of attention for this is the B cover, and also I believe it's the 1 in 25, the Adam Hughes cover. Very nice one. So that's cool. Yeah, this book has been great. I wanted to follow issue number 2 because the first issue was so interesting, and we wanted to follow and see where it went.
Yeah.
You got Dan Panison doing the writing and Giorgio Spalletta doing the art. And this issue takes place all in the asylum.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not in Wonderland at all in this one. She's on the asylum. But when she's in the asylum there for having these mental breakdowns and stuff that her family's put her in there, and for like drug and alcohol addiction, because that's how she gets access Wonderland nowadays, is getting high and drunk. She starts noticing that a lot of people in the asylum, be workers or doctors or other patients in the asylum, are actually like characters from the story.
The White Rabbit, the Cheshire Cat.
Yeah, the Tweedledum and Tweedledee, and even the Queen. Queen's like the head doctor there. Yep. So it kind of makes you feel like at the end of Wizard of Oz, where
similar to Moon Knight, even.
Yes, similar to Moon Knight too, where these people are being represented in two different worlds. And so her and some characters in there, shows her, being in the hospital, and shows her breaking into the where they keep all the drugs and stuff, and to get high to leave the war type of thing. And then she kind of gets caught, and that's where the end of the book, or end of the story happens, or this chapter at least.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool that all this took place in the regular world. And it just leads you to think, like, is she actually, where is she crazy and where is she not crazy? Like, is it really crazy, or is it like a glitch?
I'm loving these books, like May's book and like Parasomnia. You don't know what's real and what's not, and they blend the madness so well.
Yeah, they blur the reality. Like this one, you definitely have like a switching on and effect because of the drugs and the alcohol, where those other ones did kind of just blur together. But again, too, like you said, when she's in the asylum there, you're seeing that these characters are like real characters, and they even act the same, and their names are kind of the same a little bit. So again, is she just in the asylum and dreaming, uses this to deal with stuff, or is she actually going there, right? So yeah, I love the story so far.
Next, we've got from Dark Horse, one of the books that I was really looking forward to this week, because I think it's a really neat concept, and I love cowboys. That's the Shaolin Cowboy.
Yeah, Shaolin Cowboy is something that came out many years ago as an independent book, kind of like a lot of the stuff that we cover nowadays. But again, back then it didn't get wide coverage.
Underground.
So I wasn't too familiar with this a little bit at all, actually. Besides, I knew he was like a cowboy in cowboy setting, and like a monk samurai type thing as well too. So, and I knew it also had crazy awesome artwork. So when this came out, I was a little excited to read it, but hesitant at the same time, because I didn't know if I was going to get lost, just jumping right in. Well, if you just jump in and not worry about having to think about why stuff's going on, this is a fun and just enjoyable book.
Yeah, you just take it at face value.
Yeah, you have
great artwork.
You got the art, and the creator and the writer is Jeff Darrow, and like I recognize that art style that he does there, and I didn't realize that maybe it is just him that does that or what it's known for. But the art in here is so detailed, so many fine lines.
It's very familiar to like a Japanese like traditional styles.
Yeah. But what's neat is like when you look at a page, there's like a lot of like little hidden Easter eggs and stuff in there that you kind of sit there and you laugh about afterwards, because you're like, "Whoa, is that supposed to be in there?" type of thing or not.
Well, just on the cover, he's fighting like either a Komodo dragon or Godzilla.
Yeah,
but he's holding a gun with his tail.
Right, and that comes right from the story. But so not only in that, like again, I like the whole kind of period pieces of like a wandering, like the lone gunman wandering through the desert type of thing. But like Tyler said about these lizards and that, this world that he seems to be on seems to be like this fantasy world where like the dinosaurs and the lizards can talk, and there's big giant like big dinosaurs, and everything is kind of fantasy related. And like it seems like these creatures are like humanoid in the sense that they're not shaped like humans, but have like personalities and stuff. So apparently the Shaolin Cowboy there has like a little sidekick that's like a little lizard originally that he rescued from his dad. So if you just want to have a fun, kind of monk type ninja story and some amazing artwork, and not to get too lost in about the history part. This is really fun, and it's the beginning of 7 issues, so I'm sure it'll keep building on it. But yeah, just fun. A lot of kind of like I won't say fourth wall breaking, but a lot of like comic kind of references thrown in there and being sarcastic, not taking itself too seriously, and the whole thing is narrated by this, like you said, this lizard baby sidekick. So it's kind of funny. I really enjoyed this. This was quite surprising.
Yeah, it wasn't one that I had seen super far ahead when I had looked, and I probably passed it by a bunch of times, and I'm glad we took a look at it.
Well, yeah. Now I'm curious enough now that I want to try and see if I can find some of the original stuff.
Yeah.
See if it's the same or not.
Next up, we've got another one of this week's really interesting covers. It reminds me of Road Warrior. That's 78 miles per hour.
Another interesting book.
Yeah, and it's a Red 5 book, but it's also from Stonebot.
Stonebot? Is that what it was?
Yeah, so I don't know if that's an imprint or if it's in partnership, but Red 5 seems to do a lot of that.
Yeah, I think what it is Red 5 will or kind of like Source Point Press. Red 5 is like a company, that smaller company can, like, maybe a guy runs his own company, has this one issue. And,
yeah, they're almost like managers for it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So small guys, and they kind of get more exposed under them.
Yeah.
But this one was I was surprised to see it on the shelf this week, because it was actually supposed to come out quite a bit earlier. It still says April on the show on the cover date there, but I think it was supposed to come out like in February or March. So, but either way, it has a neat cover, and it does have that Road Warrior feel, because it is kind of like a Road Warrior type of book.
Mm-hmm.
What goes on here? And you got Mauro Mantella doing the writing, and you got Thomas Aria doing the arts. And it's a world where the scientists have done this experiment with these rockets and stuff, where they exploded stuff into the air that was supposed to heal the ozone and make the world safer in that. But they did it, and it kind of backfired. And instead of healing the ozone, it basically turned the atmosphere into a giant magnifying glass. So within like 30 seconds of having these things, all in the air, the world went up to like 9,000 degrees. So from like normal to 9,000. So obviously the planet's like basically on fire. So everything just starts combusting in that. So the only way they figure out that they can stay alive is to stay ahead of the Earth, like the rotation, right? So I guess that's what the Earth's rotation speed is 78 miles per hour. I'm guessing that's what it is, because that's what they have to drive to stay ahead of this. So they've been doing this for long enough now, I guess, where they haven't run out of land yet, or maybe the oil, again, the oceans have all dried up, so they just can keep driving. So they basically just keep driving until they can't. And again, you can see it's kind of like in the sequel to Pitch Black.
That's exactly what I was going to say, where they have to stay ahead of it. They have to stay ahead of the sun.
And so it's like that, but with like the speed movie in there, where they can't go below 55. So that's what it is. So they have all these vehicles and stuff that kind of like, kind of formed together, and it's like a big giant city. And it's been going on for so long that only the elders can remember the sun. Like, these kids and people have all been living on this moving, basically, platform of vehicles. So they've only stopped once or twice. So when things do stop, they all get super sick and, they can't stand, and it throws everything off because of they're used to inertia and momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing too, like animals can't breed and when they have them in captivity here, because nothing will breed with an inertia, with all the movement. So they're basically just trying to stay alive as long as they can, but it's super cool.
Yeah. Next up, we've got from Antarctic Press. Again, one that's in collaboration, because it's Antarctic Press with Phase 6 and P Productions. Mm-hmm. And that's Electroid Zaborger? I can't... I don't know.
Zaborger. Yeah, this one's a little weird.
So I did a bit of research on it before we get into it. I did a bit of research on it because I thought this looks familiar. And for those that don't know, we watch probably the most obscure TV shows sometimes and YouTube shows, and they'll go over stuff like this. And the reason that we probably both of us recognize it is I'm sure we've seen on one of those shows. It's actually a TV show from, I think it was 1974, around there, mid 70s.
Yes, the Spectre Man. So, and what is going on here, and we've seen this a lot in the last 6 months or so, is that they're starting to try to build on these, or bringing more attention to North American audiences.
Yeah.
These these icon giant robot characters. You're like your Ultraman and your things like your Mech Warriors and stuff. And that's what this is here. So Spectre Man is again another creature that's like that. Would fight Godzilla and stuff. And what they're starting to do now is they're starting to branch out and have new characters in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have one shots of all these new characters. And so that's what this one here is. He's the Electroid Zaborger. And it's basically a kid that can like hook up to like this robot that transforms into anything, and he controls them like you would like with old Nintendo Power Glove. So every movement he does, it mimics. So that's that. It's kind of cool there. So that one was kind of all right, but I'm looking forward to the next issue. The next issue, I forget what the new creature is called, but it basically looks like a samurai lion. So that one seems kind of cool too. So that one I think will be more interesting. This one here again, it's kind of like he puts on a headset and like these power gloves, and he controls the robot that way. So, and it's fueled by anger. So that kind of ties into that whole Donny Cates Hulk Starship thing.
Well, you just think so many of these Japanese style shows with such strange stories to them. Like this robot's fueled by anger, or like the Japanese Spider-Man. There, he's the emissary of hell. Like such weird. Almost seems. I don't even know what kind of twist. It just strange.
They are weird, but again, too. I don't know if this character, like this and that new Lion one that's coming out, if these are like just brand new characters, or if they're just trying to update them and bring them more attention, like we're seeing like with the Archie book that we have coming up in here.
This one definitely existed prior. I'm not sure about the next one.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But either way, so that was kind of cool there.
Yeah.
It has a cool cover.
It is.
It is a really cool cover.
It looks like it would have been the cover of like a VHS.
Yes. I'm a sucker for those VHS homage ones.
Yep. Next up, and actually you just mentioned what it was, from Archie Comics is the Fox. Another character they're bringing back.
That's called the Segway.
I mean, yeah, it was unintentional, but I'll give it to you.
Thanks. The Fox, Family Values. I've kind of turned into like, I wouldn't say a huge Archie fan lately, but I like Archie. And lately, I've liked where Archie's been going. That's what I like. Where they're starting to try to introduce all these superheroes that they used to have in the 60s and that. And I used to read them in the 70s and the 80s in the digests in the collected format when I was a kid. So I like that. This Fox one here, again, much like the S.H.I.E.L.D. character that we saw a few weeks ago, or a few months ago.
That was a while ago now.
Yeah, a few months ago.
I think it was almost last summer.
Yeah, it was. This one is kind of cool because it's not, it's kind of like an updated version, but kind of not. It's, again, being an Archie comic, it doesn't want to take itself too seriously. So there's two stories in here. The first story is about the Fox now, where he's like kind of older and he wants to retire, and it's just him going through life with his family and that. It's kind of funny because his wife is a hero and his son's a hero, and they're all kind of different. So it kind of shows a family interacting that way with, three different, focal points on how to handle
now,
justice.
How similar did you find it to the Joneses, which is also one a little bit more mature, but same family dynamic?
Kind of something like that. I didn't think about it that way, but I guess it could be like that. But I just liked it a lot because it's done in the old Archie comic style, which I think is pretty cool. And even the paper itself is printed to make it look like old newsprint type thing. So I thought that was cool. And then the second story is about when him and his wife first get married. So it's, again, a kind of older style and that. So just fun, nothing too crazy. I like how they've kind of updated it. I hope they move forward a little bit. And then they have a third story, which is from like one of the original stories when it first came out in like the 40s or whatever, from Toth. So anyone who likes the original stuff, especially guys like that artist Toth. They reprinted exactly as it was. So that's kind of cool too. But much like that other Archie book I pointed out earlier in the pre-show, this one has a black cover, and again, very, very flimsy, so super hard to find like if you want like a high grade quality one. I really like that cover. Like I think
It's really good.
It pops. It looks like an old Archie comic book cover. It's great.
It reminds me of the way that Bruce Timm would draw animated characters. It's got
Yeah.
those same eyes, same shapes.
Yeah, it does look like that actually.
And we've got.
Yeah, but that Bruce Timm style, and again, it's like that 40s and 50s style, which is kind of based on it. So
We've got 2 books left, and I believe both are from Image. First up, we've got I Hate This Place, number 1.
Yes, and this book also goes by a second title, where the hate is replaced by another 4-letter word, and it's not snow. It's I F This Place. And this one here is cool too. The cover itself, that's what the coloring is like inside. And this is a straight up horror novel or a straight up horror story. We've covered a few books like this lately where people have gone to like haunted castle or cabins or homes where they kind of have to stay and live, which I love. It's great if it's done. So this one has a little bit of humor to it, lots of horror. But the coloring in here is awesome. It's bright colors and gory, very, very violent and gory. So what it is you got the 2 people on the cover there. They're a couple, and the white girl has that was her great aunt's farm, and she's inherited it, and it's a cattle farm. And they were never allowed to go there when they were kids, and she remembers going there once when she was a youngster and her mom was getting chased away actually, and they always thought it was kind of weird. So they show up, and as soon as they enter the place, they realize why. This place is haunted right off the bat. They see ghosts and monsters and stuff, and then they end up finding like a safe room. And then right after they find the safe room, they find a video that kind of explains it all and saying, sorry, we didn't want to get you into this, but as soon as you're here, you're stuck here type of thing. So this is what you have to do to basically survive and stay in the safe room. And when that happens, an alien spaceship shows up from above and starts beaming lights down, and they say, oh, I guess this is why they built the safe room. So this is all going on, and when they're in the video, they find out the rules on how to live there, and yeah, it's kind of crazy to see where it goes. Super gory. Some of the, like you said, you don't know if it's aliens or supernatural. The one girl is like a survivalist, she's like a doomsday prepper in that, and the other one is not. See where it goes. It definitely grabbed my attention, even though we've seen a few books like this lately. Just the artwork and how it has like aliens and supernatural in there, and that was kind of cool. So.
And our last book, like I said, from Image Comic, another one based in horror, and really, really good imagery in these books. I love it. A Town Called Terror, number 2.
Right, and this is much like that Alice Ever After. I think we both covered on number 1 the same time as well last time. So
roughly, yeah.
The reason I covered this book is it's an awesome horror story, and it's not the horror story that makes you want to read this book, although it is a great story. Don't get me wrong there.
Oh, yeah.
You got Steve Niles doing the writing, and he's a horror icon. But what going on here is you got Simon with a Z in there, Krudowski, and his artwork is what makes you get blown away. Like the artwork on the cover there is what's going on inside, and the whole book is like these. How do I have it written down here? I have it as like dark painting like art.
Oh, good thing you looked down to read that.
I wanted to see exactly what I had to quote it as. But like dark, not dark painted, like not like Moody's art, like watercolor, but it looks like a painting art. So what I kind of made me think of in each one of these panels,
it makes me think of like biblical like paintings.
Yeah, like when you look at them, they're like you can feel the disturbance behind it and that, right? Like I thought if you take one of these panels and put like a fancy frame around it, it'd be like one of the paintings from that old Rod Serling show, The Night Gallery. one of these totally creepy, like it just feels like it's like eating into your soul type of painting. But what's going on here, and the story's cool as well too, is that as we saw last time, a guy got kidnapped from his wife, and you find out that his father kidnapped him and brought him back to this town, and the town's called Terror. This whole town is kind of like this crazy off the map haunted world, kind of like this eerie Indiana type of thing going on, where his dad kind of dies and comes back to life all the time. His dad's kind of like a higher up power guy, kind of like the head of the family, and this guy who'd been kidnapped and brought back there is his son, and him and his dad obviously don't get along. He wants nothing to do with all these magic and monsters, and so he moves away. But now he's been kidnapped and brought back because his dad needs his help with something, and we find out the help is that his mom's was trying to bring back someone from the dead, and then I guess got taken, and now they need his skills. We don't find out what his skills are. So now he's back in town. He's kind of mixing with these like shit creed monsters going on here, and some of them are zombies, some of them are werewolves, some are just straight up ghouls and that. So super cool that way. Want to see where it goes on. You kind of have this like Sopranos feel going on, with his family, clans or family gangs, things going on in there, and how his dad like just this demon like can come back from the dead and that, and we'll see where it goes. But just the art itself is enough to bring you in for at least 3, 4, 5 issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've enjoyed this series a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for books. So let's rattle off our news here. We will start off with some of the biggest news this week, really. We got a trailer for She-Hulk, which is now being called She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Overall, looking really good.
This show is going to be, which I thought it was going to be, more of a comedy slapstick kind of show.
Yeah.
Which, and it looks like that. I know a lot of people are commenting on the CGI already, and I know you said it right away. It doesn't look
it's up
awesome,
on screen,
but it is. There's still lots of time to polish.
Yeah.
I saw someone in a post that did the same thing. They said, "Oh, did you like Sonic?" And they said, "Oh yeah, Sonic was good." And they said, "Okay, well this is what Sonic looked like in the first trailer." And then they showed it, and remember how bad that was, right?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, there's lots of time to get it polished.
But overall, I am liking the design of She-Hulk.
Yes, I just think the color looked a little off in some points on her, but I didn't think she looked like too computerized or.
It's just sort of that uncanny valley.
Yeah, that's all. But you got to think too, like seeing someone green doesn't matter what they do to it; it's gonna look weird. You're seeing a green human, like.
Yeah. No, exactly. But yeah, really looking forward to the show. It comes out August 17th. Yeah.
And then no Obi-Wan's next week, right? The 26th?
Oh, yes. I look forward to staying up till 2 a.m. Thursday night and watching both episodes.
Yeah, I'll do that probably with you.
Yeah, but that's next week.
We can film ourselves have a, what do they call it?
You're not going to be awake. And I guess other Disney Plus news. Now, everywhere is saying it's confirmed. And
yes, I know you had this discussion with me already because I said to you, "Oh, it's out." And you said, "Yeah, it's just that it's out, but nothing said confirmed." And now since then, I've seen 500 different other sites saying it's confirmed now.
Yes.
So I don't know on this.
It's a very touchy thing for me because you know how I am with all those speculation guys that are all, confirm this, confirm that. Nothing is confirmed until Marvel Studios comes out and says it, or Kevin Feige himself comes out and says it. I don't believe Marvel has come out and said it. I think they have insider knowledge. Then they've said that a Daredevil reboot is in the works, and these people are attached to it. But if Marvel hasn't come out and said it, to me that's not full confirmation. I'm not saying it's not happening. It's just people throw away that confirmed and confirmation on just because it's printed an article from reliable sources, still not confirmed.
I agree with you on that too. But then I also saw just before you went on the show, and I showed it to you as well, that then Marvel did confirm the picture with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones there.
That's right, Kristen Ritter, and I always forget his name.
Yeah, as Luke Cage saying
Um,
hashtag we're back or hashtag no secret or something like that.
yeah,
So I mean, they acknowledge that. So I mean, how would you acknowledge one without the other? So, but
yeah.
whatever.
Also with Marvel news, and actually we had a poll about it this week. Um, Marvel has licensed the likeness of Stan Lee for the next 20 years, I believe the contract is. So, I mean, we had an action figure of him last year. I've got that up on screen, and I've got one of my favorite pictures of Stan Lee up there as well, posing with Hulk and Spider-Man. Um, but yeah, they're going to be using Stan allegedly in future projects, whether it's
Yeah,
through stock footage they have of him already, or mix of CG. We've seen them bring other characters back to life.
yeah,
Um, Personally, not that I know Stan Lee myself, but the character he put off and who he was, and actually I've heard from a few people as well. This is what Stan wanted, was to be continued. Because if you really think about it, Stan Lee is one of the greatest characters that he's ever created.
yeah. It's like Walt Disney.
Yeah,
The way
exactly.
I see it too is like at first I thought, well, no, maybe it feels like kind of like dirty, like when they brought back like Tupac and stuff like that
Yeah.
in the
Oh yeah.
with holograms and stuff, which I'm sure they probably do in that. But then you think about other stuff too, like we still get people still buy things, and nowadays like people still buy statues of Elvis.
Yeah.
People still buy action figures of dead people, like who's right here, like no right who's this like Ultimate Warrior. People are buying action figures of the Ultimate Warrior, and he's dead.
Bob
So like,
Ross. Bob
yeah,
Ross has a huge market.
yeah, Bob Ross makes more now than he did ever he's alive.
Oh yeah.
So that's no different. And then people say like, well, his family's not profiting. Well, who do you think sold the likeness? The likeness to Marvel is his family or his estate, right? It's not
Yeah.
like they just picked it up and said we're doing it. So yeah, I got no problems with them doing stuff like you said, if they're going to put out like statues or action figures or because that. I mean, we do that even with things like the Mona Lisa or Napoleon or anything. Like
Stan
Einstein.
Lee is one of the most
Pictures of
historic
Einstein.
figures that we have, like of our age for sure. And
Yeah,
for them to be able to use use his likeness in a way that
right.
he would have, I'm sure, wanted, because that he was the king of cameos. He loved it.
Yeah, he liked
And
making.
we had a poll, and most people agreed. Yeah, more Stan the Man sounds great. Some
Right,
people are hesitant and said, let his legacy rest. Which again, I think when we all heard this information, that's all what we sort of thought.
right. But I
And
think
some people don't care one way or the other, which is a fine outlook as well.
right. And I don't, for myself, like I said, I kind of think I fall in the categories. I don't care one way or another. But I mean, I think and I mean, I do think it's good that they can do it. But I think what upsets that most people is that they're thinking of it like, oh, they're going to turn him into like I said, they're going to start using him and CGIing him into like all these different things. Like I said, like I always use the Tupac hologram thing where they know it was like Tupac doing a real concert, and like that. That I think puts a little sour taste in people's mouths, but everything else is just normal. And that's just the way the media's changed nowadays.
Yeah.
Like they can do that, Painting someone in the old days or taking a picture of someone in the old days, they thought it would steal someone's soul, right? So I mean, this is just the digital version of it. So I mean, whatever. Again, it's not like his family's not making cash off it. They sold his likeness. It's gives his
Licensed.
estate.
They licensed it.
Well,
It's not
whatever. They
sold.
sold his license. That means they have it for 20 years. Well, now his family gets 20 years of this money coming in that they won't have to fight for. Because there's always a fight for likenesses and stuff, right?
Well, exactly, right? You're not fighting for the work like so many other of the comic writers'
It's
families.
protected. So again, I understand why people don't like it because he's passed away and that. But that's no different than like William Shakespeare. We're not. No one's dissing on people buying William
Edgar Allan
Shakespeare
Poe.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah. But yeah, that's probably some of the biggest news was that, and I felt like as a community, lots of us would have opinions on it, and it's something worth discussing.
oh, for sure.
Next, we've got a couple trailers dropped this week. and this comes out a lot sooner than I thought. Umbrella Academy Season 3.
Hmm.
That comes out at the end of June, I think it said. I think it's 22nd, somewhere around there, roughly.
I believe so. Yes.
And it looks great. We got our first, at least my first look. I'm sure it is our first look as well. At the Sparrow Academy.
Right.
Of course, at the end of the first season, they ended up in what seems to be an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
Um, who knows? It does sound like it's going that way. It looks good.
Yeah. They're
One of
still
my
following the
favorite
story.
series.
They're still following the main stories. The Sparrow Academy is in the comics. I actually saw in one of the apps today that that book is like a hotkey now or whatever,
Okay.
or a spec, the Sparrow Academy for experience. And I love the first two seasons of Umbrella Academy. So I thought that was great. So yeah, I'm glad to see that coming.
Hmm. And the last trailer we got, and I think it might have been closer to the last week. I don't remember if it was this week or not. But that's for The Boys Season 3.
Yeah, I did. I never watched that. Like I tried watching. I not tried. I watched about 3, 4, 5 episodes of the first season. Thought it was okay, and then just never really went back to it. So
I quite enjoyed it. I think I got about halfway through the second season and I caught up with it. And I don't remember why I'd stopped watching it. Something else came out at the time, or maybe I don't remember what exactly. Maybe that Miles Morales game came out. I don't remember. But yeah, Jensen Ackles is Soldier Boy in this. He's like sort of your Captain America character. Everyone's been trying to get him in tons of things. Everyone wanted him to be Red Hood for the longest time as well.
yeah.
He's got a huge fan base behind him. That's all we've got for books, but we do have some other things that we wanted to show off too, because they're just fun, and we end up covering these things. Starting off with, that really wicked shirt. Whose bed sheets did you cut up for that?
No one. It's just cool. It's pop art and it's pop eye, so that's awesome.
Pop and Eye art.
Yeah.
Now this one was picked up a little bit ago, and actually two of them were, and we keep forgetting to show them off. I think we talked about it one time. WWE has been doing, their Elite collection forever, and they've got Andre the Giant, Roman Reigns, and The Rock as some film personas that they've had. So The Rock is a Scorpion King, right? Now this one is probably the greatest action figure I've ever seen. It's so great.
It's the funniest one I've seen.
It's hilarious. So it's Andre the Giant, not as Fezzik from The Princess Bride like you might think, which is a figure I did actually see. They have some Princess Bride figure, and I saw him. And Inigo Montoya. I digress, I'm getting sidetracked. It's Andre the Giant as Bigfoot. Here, let me turn the brightness down so we can see it.
Yeah, from the episode of $6 Million Man.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. He's actually furry. He's actually flocked.
It's so funny they have to say it's Andre the Giant because you can't even tell. It's just basically a Bigfoot.
Oh, you have no idea. It's so good.
It looks like it's like a.
But his whole outfit is fur, but they couldn't give him actual hair.
Yeah.
What? Super weird, but I love that figure. It's great. Another pickup we had recently. Now I don't particularly like flip flops, but these I had to get because you and I share a common love for the classic, original Spider-Man TV series.
Mm-hmm.
And I found these, and it's in Polo Park. It's like a Japanese, I wouldn't say dollar store, but similar to one that's a little bit bigger called Umomo. So it's similar to a dollar store, but not. But it's Spider-Man flip-flops. These are fantastic. Amazing. Look at that. These are great. I can't decide if I want to wear them or hang them on the wall or frame them. They're amazing. And I only spent $7 on them.
That's a pretty good deal.
Right? So, yeah. I mean, I think these beat Andre the Bigfoot. But
no, those are nice, but I got the best deal on this purchase this week that came.
Yes. Okay, give us a quick story of that. How that's our second gray skull that we've gotten. But why?
Because we've been watching Walmart's for about 6 months now, waiting for them to put these on clearance, and it finally happened. So originally these were $90 in Canada. Oops.
There goes the
Oh,
sorceress.
and then they had them on sale for $40. I said, "Oh, half price. That's cool. Great." So we have one in a box. So we wanted to get one to open.
And we've
So
talked about opening one to display it for a long time.
So I took it over to like a scanning pool to scan it just to make sure it was going to come up as the $40. And when I went and scanned it, it came up as only 20, what did I say, 26 or 29?
I think it was somewhere between 25 and 30, yeah.
Yeah, so 26 or 29. So when they were sticking the clearance stickers on it, they stuck a sticker on it for like the vehicles that were next to it. So I quickly scooped it up. So $26 got me a brand
That's
new.
almost as much as the figures themselves.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? The He-Man figures are probably the most reasonably priced of the retro figures.
They are, and for actually for the expensive figures like your Marvel Legends and your WWE Elite, it's the AEWs because they won't go higher than 30. They're only 29, whereas the Marvel retros and stuff are like
30
35
plus.
and stuff. Yeah.
30 is the baseline.
Yeah. So so that was a cool little thing to pick up. I didn't plan to pick that up, but for $26, it was just how could you not have that?
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun to open. We were going to videotape it, but just we never did. So
no. And then our final two things are sort of supplemental to each other. Continuing with the crazy Moon Knight hype that doesn't seem to be slowing down, even though the show's been done for a few weeks. Actually, this was out last week. We only picked it up this week, or maybe it was the week before. I think it was last week.
Yeah.
Moon Knight Volume 2.
Yeah.
This is the direct market variant. It's this, with all the Sinkwitz covers, fantastic. And it even actually goes into some of the 90s series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it does start it.
Yeah. And then, also this week, and this one's a really thick one, actually, is Moon Knight. But this is the 2006 and 2007 series in here.
And more.
Yeah. So you've got Moon Knight from 2006, 1 to 30, and it's annual. And a couple of here and there, one-offs. And then you have Vengeance of Moon Knight 1 to 10 and Shadowland Moon Knight 1 to 3.
Yeah.
This is the series that brought him back, really. That made everyone really love the character again. That and the Jeff Lemire series.
Yeah, especially the covers on that one.
Oh, for sure. Like this is some of the best. And you can say that about so much of Moon Knight. Just every Moon Knight book is some of the best Moon Knight artwork. It really is.
It's a good character for art.
Yeah. I think that's it. I've had that little bit of a Lego itch back there lately, and I've been tracking down only now because I'm a year late. Why else would I start doing it? The Disney Plus Lego Minifigures, and I've got a handful of them. There's a few that I'm looking for still, but I think I've bought every package in Winnipeg, and there was 6 left in the whole city. It seemed like, but yeah, that's another thing that's sort of been going on in our collectosphere.
Yeah. And we still have this going on. I haven't made the post about it yet because I wanted to wait till we got the Spectre books in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we have this going on. So again, I saw before the show started, our membership is at 417. So we're going to go up to 450. And so everyone who joins from 416 up through 450 will get a entry to win this.
Mm-hmm.
It is a newsstand Todd McFarlane Spider-Man Green in 8.5. Awesome, classic, iconic one to have in the newsstand.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also, so if anyone who joins the membership between 416 and 450, and the person who refers them, so whoever referred you, if you were referred, make sure to put their name down as well. And anyone who buys a Spectrum, whether the trade or the trade version set, will get their name entered as well. So that's pretty cool. I mean, this is a nice book. I mean, it's not a super valuable book, but it's a
It's a
good
nice
book,
display
nostalgia
piece.
book. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very iconic cover. It's a great display piece.
Yep, it's a great display piece, and it's a newsstand, and it's already graded, so great way to easy display it already. So
yeah. So that's about it for this week, I believe. Spectro books are in, but you're not getting them till at least next week, so don't get too excited.
Get excited enough to buy one.
Yeah. For our local friends, 204 Comics next week. New comic book day on Wednesday. They'll have copies available for a special Winnipeg discount there.
Yep. That special discount price will be for like a new release day type of price thing. So it'll go through the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So for the rest of that week, you can get it for the $20 price because we're only going to do a certain few copies.
Yeah, there is a limited amount of copies there. Yeah.
Yep. That's it.
That's it. That's all she wrote. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Maybe I'll edit the video.
Awesome. We will be, like I said, check out the last show for.
I know what we're talking about.
What?
A little bit of a tease for tomorrow.
Oh, right.
We have a big reveal coming tomorrow.
It's huge, super big announcement. Probably around 3 p.m. our time. It's huge no matter what now, but it has the potential to be even huger. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be coming on live to talk about that. So we will definitely leave it off on that note. We will see you guys tomorrow. Please, everybody, grab a Spectro book. If you want a copy, when you're ordering now, if you want a copy to be autographed, just let me know. We'll make it happen. That's all.
Yeah. We'll see everybody
tomorrow.
I tripped myself up there. See you, everybody.